Hello guys, so let's do basics of circle geometry. Basics of circle geometry. So, what you have to know. We have this other thing called an angle. So, what is an angle? An angle is just a space that is found between two lines. So, for an example, we have this here. This is an angle. This is A, B, C. This is an angle. It's found between which two lines? A, B, and AC. So now, how do you name an angle? We can name this angle here as angle A. We can name it as angle A, or we can say B. We start here. It's between which two letters? It's between B and C. So now we're gonna have A. You're gonna have C. You can see there it's between B and C. It's between these two letters. So now we can name it like this. So let's take maybe you're given something like this. Okay, we have A, B, C, D. Then they say name angle X. Then let's say maybe you want to name angle X or you want to name angle Y. So let's start with X. So X, you're gonna check. X is between which two lines? It's between AD and BD. So which means your angle X is what is gonna be A. You start with A, alphabetical. A, what? An angle must be between, it must be A, then your angle will be D, because D is the one that is between what? A and B. Then you have B. This is your X. What about Y? Y is between B and C. So now we're gonna say B angle DC is equals to Y, because Y is between what? Is between B and C. So your X here is between what? Is between A and B. So this is what you have to know in circle geometry, so that you can be able to name angles accordingly. So now we have these two lines called perpendicular. So perpendicular lines. So these lines are two lines that meet at an angle of 90 degrees. For an example, this line here. So these two lines are perpendicular because there is an angle 90 degrees there. So what do you have to know about this line? So this line, you're gonna just write it like this. If you want to say AB is perpendicular to DC, you're gonna just say AB is perpendicular to DC. This is how you write it. So this line, when we talk about perpendicular lines, we are talking about lines that can form an angle of 90 degrees. We are talking about perpendicular lines. So now, again, we have parallel lines. Okay, we have parallel lines. What are parallel lines? Parallel lines, we are talking about these two lines that will never meet, will be symbolized by those arrows. They can also symbolize by two arrows. It means A, B, C, D. E, F, G, H. So it means AB is parallel to CD. Here we're talking about EF is parallel to HG. So these two lines, they never touch each other. So we call them parallel lines. It's only parallel if you are given, if they tell you these two lines are parallel, or there are certain characteristics that I'm going to talk about now. That determine whether two lines are parallel or what. Which are those characteristics? When we hear the word parallel lines, we are introducing something called fun. It's from grade 8, grade 9 back then. So then, now, these two, we only have this guy called fun only if we have parallel lines. If we don't have parallel lines, it means we don't have this guy. This applies only if there are parallel lines. So this guy we are talking about, this F, we are talking about corresponding angle. Corresponding angles. What are corresponding angles? Corresponding angles are these two angles here that are being formed by this. It's like it have an F shape. So these two angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. We only have corresponding angle if we have parallel lines. That's where we can find corresponding angles. So now we have this guy here. We call it co-interior angles. How do you know about these co-interior angles? This is the co-interior angles. We are gonna say x plus y is equal to 180. These two angles are supplementary, which means they end up to 180 degrees. So now we only find co-interior angles where? Only if we are given parallel lines. So now we have this guy here, which is alternative angles. Where do you find those guys? You find alternative angles only if there are parallel lines. So this is the basics of circle geometry. So if you know where there is parallels, you're gonna find corresponding angles, you're gonna find co-interior, you're gonna find your alternative angles. You're good to go. So now, what else? Now we're going to triangles. Oh, before triangles, we have this guy here. We call him a straight line. This guy here, it can be joined by a certain line. Let's take C, this X, this is Y. This guy here, sum of the angles in this guy is equivalent to 180. Therefore, this is what I mean. Y plus X is equal to 180 degrees. Y plus X is equal to 180 degrees. So the reason you can say angles on a straight line, we can call it supplementary angles. So these two angles, they end up to 180 degrees. So now what do we have? We have this guy. We have this guy. We can have X here, can have Y here. A, B, C, D. So this guy here, X plus Y is equal to 90 degrees. So we have X and Y. So this two line AB is perpendicular to BC. We have that 90 degrees there. Or we can say reason it's a what? It's a complementary angles. It's Complementary angles, it's angles that end up to 90 degrees when you add them. So that's those two. That's what you have to know. So now we're gonna move to triangles. We know we have three types of triangle. Three types of triangle, or four types. First, we have isosceles, the famous one. Isosceles triangle, it's like this. It's gonna be, those two sides are gonna be equal. Two opposite sides are equal. What about the angles? Two opposite sides are equal. And what? And these two opposite angles are equal. Two opposite angles are equal. So this triangle have two opposite sides that are equal and two opposite angles that are equal. So these two angles are only equal if these two sides are equal. And also these two sides are equal only if these two angles are equal. So what else? We have equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle, we're talking about this kind of triangle, the famous one. All sides are equal. And what else? All angles are equal. So this triangle, everything is equal. Angles are equal. Also, all the sides are equal, which means we're gonna have what? Gonna have 60, 60, 60. Okay. This is your equilateral triangle. Then we have this guy called Scalene triangle. Scalene triangle. All the sides are not equal. Even the angles are not equal. So Scalene triangle, all the angles are not equal, all the sides are not equal. So last one, also this one is famous. We call it a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. It's gonna be like that. The right angle, we're talking about 90 degrees. This triangle, it's gonna have an angle of 90 degrees. That's the only characteristics. So the characteristics of this beautiful triangle here, it's gonna have what? 90 degrees as interior angle of it. So now let's talk about, now we're talking about the angles inside the triangles. So this is what you have to know. A triangle, my beautiful triangle, they have X, we have Y, we have Z. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. So now you must know X. Oh, I forgot. This is what? This is I can just say it's R, small letter R. You can just say X plus Y plus Z is equal to 180 degrees. Reason, you're gonna just say sum of interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Sum of the interior, all these angles, when you add them inside this triangle ABC, is equal to 180 degrees. Sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So lastly, we have this guy here outside here. We have this guy. So this guy, we have also this other rule that says these two guys here, when you add them, they are gonna give you this guy. They are gonna give you this guy. So these two angles are inside the triangle, first of all. Second, these two angles, x and y, they are opposite to each other. So when you add them, they give you this one outside the triangle. So now, reason being, x plus y is equals to r. Because of what? Because we call it, they say exterior angle of a triangle is equals to sum addition of opposite interior angles of a triangle. That's the first way to find your r. Second way of finding this r here, it's, you're gonna say z plus r is equals to 180 degrees, which is gonna give us what? It's gonna say angles on a straight line. So if you know angles on this, you can make r subject of the formula if you are given z. So another way of finding z is the way of finding z, you guys just use if you want to find z or x or y, you can use this one to find it based on what you are given. So this is the basics of Euclidean geometry that you have to know before you get inside of it. So now we're gonna have what? We're gonna have equilaterals. No, not equilaterals. We're gonna have shapes with what? With four sides. Quadrilaterals. Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna have square. We have rhombus. You're gonna have what? You're gonna have rectangle. You're gonna have kite. All this shape, you have to know all the characteristics of it. All sum of angles in a quadrilateral is equals to 360 degrees. So when you add this angle and this angle and this angle, it's equals to give you 360. This angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, 360. This 360. This one, 360 degrees. That's what you have to know. Lastly, we have the what? We have a revolutional angle or angle at the point. This is the point. A, B, C, D. This is O. So now we're gonna have X or O1. That means O1, O2, O3, O4. So O1 plus O2 plus O3 plus O4 is equals to 360 degrees. What is the result? Revolutional angle or angle at a point. is equals to 360 degrees. This is what you have to know. What else? You have to know about vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles. This angle is equals to this angle. This angle is equals to this angle.